You are welcome to Fortune Maker Africa. I am Olusegun Abioye, and with me here is Oshotimehin Adegbolahan. He's the CMO of GTech Limited, the Chief Marketing Officer of GTech Limited, and of course, he's here to actually shed more light on the basic laws of designs. He has been an authority in the information technology, having done so many things in the areas of digital marketing, the areas of content creation, web design, graphics design, branding, and some other related ones. I deem it fit to welcome Oshotimehin Adegbolahan to the podcast this day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olusegun Abioye. It's nice being on the podcast this evening, and I believe I will be sharing with you value as usual.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. GTech Oshotimehin. Really, when we talk about design, what comes to mind?
Well, when we talk about design, the first thing we need to take note is that we use design to communicate. I think this is the most essential things we need to know, because nowadays I've seen a lot of design. I've seen a lot, especially from all these upcoming artists. And to be sincere, some of these design are not really communicating. But when we talk about design, we should know that design is communication. We are communicating virtually.
Okay, that's actually very nice. So we'll be shedding more light on the basic laws of designs, and while I would also be shedding more light on the basic principles of designs. Those are two different things, the laws and principles of designs. So many designers have been doing it wrongly, but after this podcast, I know you'll be getting a whole lot of value from the podcast. So right away, I would like Mr. GTech to also talk about some of the basic laws of design for our beginners or even the experts in the design industry already.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Olusegun. Like I said the other time, design is all about communication. We use diagram, text, all these things to communicate to our audience. So when we talk about design is a virtual aid. We use it to communicate, like I said the other time. So okay, let me just go straight to the point because of our time. I don't want to take much of our time, and I believe this podcast is about sharing value, and that's what you are going to receive.
It's about sharing value. Yeah.
So for beginners and intermediate, active, or designer, and when I say design, sorry, I'm not only referring to graphics. I'm referring to both graphics and web design. So for us to do a nice design, or for us to communicate through design, there are some basic principles we need to know. If we fail to know this, definitely we are going to be doing it wrongly. So I'll be talking about some basic laws of our design. We have a lot of it, but I will be, because of our time, like I said the other time, I don't want to waste our time. So I'll just be giving us 4 or 5 principles, which I know we need as a beginner or as an
intermediate graphics designer. Okay.
Or web designer.
Okay.
So the first one I'm going to be talking about is the law of simplicity. Law of simplicity. When I say law of simplicity, I know the hardest part of design is thinking. Because if you are a designer, for you to design a particular something, you have to first think. Put yourself in the shoe of your audience. Like, okay, how would my audience perceive this particular thing? What would be their reaction? I hope I'm communicating. So the law of simplicity is actually saying that your audience you must be able to communicate to your audience the difficult, or let me put it this way, you must be able to communicate a complex issue to your audience in a simple way. Okay, another one is our focal point. Focal point is saying that in design, there are some elements that attract us more than the others. If you have seen a flyer or this social media design ADS and the flyer and those things, there are some that once you set your eyes on that particular design, it's the first thing you will see there before you see the other one.
I think I can actually relate with that.
Exactly. So, what the law of focal points is telling us is that the most important information we want to pass across should be highlighted. And by highlighting it, I do not mean that maybe you should put a background or something or coding or something. No.
Okay.
I don't know if you have seen a design that, when looking at it, is the first one you will read there.
Of course.
Before you read all that. This can be different. There are a lot of ways we can actually do this. We can use fonts to do this. We can use color to do this. Like, okay, if I bolden a particular word now, like it's more bolden than the other.
Makes it more pronounced.
A lot of focal points is saying that that's the first thing you will read on the flyer before reading the one written in smaller fonts. So if you know this law, you'll be able to do things differently in your next design. So we have the law of continuity. Law of continuity is very simple too. It's very straightforward. What law of continuity is saying is, for example, now you are a brand. Let's assume you are designing for a brand. Like I said, you are communicating. And I believe that's not the only design you are going to do. You are still going to have more and more
of designs to do.
You are still going to communicate to your audience. So what law of continuity is saying is simply that you have to follow pattern. The pattern is used in the first design. You know I don't want to go much into branding, because branding on its own is a very wide field, which if it starts today,
we can't even finish it. Branding will take a whole lot of years to
exactly. We won't even live yet today. So what law of continuity is actually telling us is that we must be able to maintain pattern.
Your logo, your fonts,
the fonts you are using,
if it's italics,
the color,
if it's underlined.
Exactly. You are to follow this strictly so that you won't be confusing your audience. So even me looking at your design, I should be able to know that okay, this design is actually coming from
so company,
yes.
Person.
So that's what law of continuity is talking about. And we have the isolation effects. This is more, though we use this more in web design, but we use it in graphics also.
Use it graphics. Okay, yes. The isolation effects.
Yes. So isolation effects is simply saying that, I keep saying this, design is all about communicating. And and let's take communicating. And what are we communicating? We are communicating the brand value. We are marketing our value to our audience. I hope you are getting
that's very clear.
Yes. So what's law of isolation is simply saying is that definitely I will have something in mind. Let's say I'm pitching some things to you. I'm pitching 3 things to you, or I'm giving you 3 options.
Okay.
Definitely I will have the one that I want you to go for. Like
Okay, it's just like
I'm
you are
recommending-
offering different packages,
yes,
and you
and I'm
want
recommending
them to go for a
one.
particular package.
Exactly.
And
So,
okay, I
law of isolation is simply saying that the one you are recommending to your audience should be isolated from the rest. There are a lot of ways to do this. We normally see this in pricing, most especially in pricing tag.
Okay.
So whereby when you want to advise your audience that okay, you should go for this particular package, you are going to do that one in a way that is going to be different from others. So there are a lot of ways to do this. You can make the stuff larger or taller than the rest, so that it will be isolated from the remaining one.
So the mind of the person looking at it will
Yes,
pick it almost
pick it
immediately.
that, okay,
This is
this
what I should go
is-
for.
Yes, you can even use color to differentiate them. Maybe others are written in blue ink.
I think when we look at this, it should not even be more of design. It should be more of marketing strategy.
Yes,
It should be
yes,
more of
yes,
marketing
yes.
strategy.
You know, like I said, marketing too is communicating. So and design too, we are communicating. So
Yeah,
design, we can simply put that design is what aiding or complementing our marketing strategy. So I don't want to give us much of this loss, because it's better you know few of this and put it into practice than knowing hundreds of it and not putting it into
Okay, how many laws have you talked about now? I guess you talked about law
5.
of focal point.
5.
You talk about law of simplicity. You talk
Yes.
about law of isolation effect.
Yes,
and,
law of Miller,
Miller law, and
Yes.
the last one, I guess.
isolation.
Okay, we talked about isolation already. I think you talked about 5 laws in total. That is actually very, very, very.
Okay, yes, we talk about law of continuity.
Okay, the law of continuity.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think.
So
it's-
these laws, if put into practice, I can assure you that your next design will be different, because you will be able to do it in a special way that when looking at it, you say, "Oh, I tried."
I tried. Thank you very much, Mr. Jite, for actually putting us through the laws of design. When you actually talking about the laws of design, I begin to wonder. I think there are some relationship between laws and principles now, because most of the principles I want to talk about also has a kind of intercontinental
yes.
relationship also with that of the principles, or that of the laws of design. Now, I will just talk about the principles, some basic principles of design, and the first one I'll talk about is emphasis.
Okay.
All right, in a design, in a design product, in a design package,
Product designing.
in product designing, what you want to emphasize more on is actually the best information, or the most important information you want your audience to pick. Okay, let's take for example, if you have a design work on a band event or a live music event, let's assume the best or the most important information you want your audience to pick is a band, the name of the band. Of course, now the emphasis, the principles behind the emphasis is telling us that the name of the band will actually be the bigger one. Like you lay more emphasis on that by putting it in a bigger font. So the most important element, the most important thing
I think that's
you are going to put
you are simply
in
talking
a
about
capitation or in a larger font.
Yeah, I think you are talking about it's related to focal points.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it's related to focal
Yes.
points in a way.
Because you have to what's the major thing you are trying to communicates to
Communicates.
the audience.
You
Put
put
it
it at a strategic
Yes.
place, and
Yes.
of course in a bigger font to let your audience know that this information is actually very much important. Also, another basic principle is balance. Every of the elements on your design, be it shapes, be it the text, be it the pictures or images you use, actually have weight.
Yes.
And so you want to align your design in such a way that you will be able to have a balance in the weight. You can't imagine you have bigger elements filled at a particular point, and also the smaller ones filled at a particular point of the design. It's just going to be wobbly.
Yes.
But if you have, let's say, bigger elements on one side, you still have some bigger elements on the other side, that will create a kind of balance on the design. So there's a way you structure your design to make a balance, and also to make an adjustment to how people or audience view your design. I think you
yes.
get that.
Yes. You're right. You're right. And I think this is one of the major thing. The main thing that the new people that are coming into the digital space need to take note of. Because I've seen a lot of design that is not even eye-catching. Like, so, and I think some of the mistake is that one of the mistakes they made is that they did not balance the elements of the design. The color, how you mix color mixing, your fonts. I've seen some graphics that from all these movies. I've seen the one that I think I saw one recently. The designer used, I think, up to 5 different fonts. Imagine.
That's fonts challenge.
So you have to balance all these things. If you are going to be using 2 fonts, maintain it.
If it's just one, maintain it.
You can use one font for the major headline, and another font for maybe additional information. Make it simple. Love simplicity.
Love simplicity.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for that. And also, among the principles of design is contrast. Contrast is actually a very germane thing. Is a very cogent point.
Yes.
In the sense that there are some designs that you will see on a particular background, and you feel like it's like you can bring this in out. Like that's the design looks pop. It pops out of the background. So there should be a contrast, maintaining a high contrast between the elements of your designs and the background of the design. It makes it pops out. Have you seen some designs that you think, did this person actually put this image on this paper? It does not look like. I mean, you should understand the kind of contrast I'm trying to explain.
Yes. The thing there is that contrast is a feed on its own. Because when we are talking, okay, it's just as if you go to university now to learn or to study English language, any course, to study any course, and you forgot to, or you didn't acquire any soft skills, such as interview stuff, such as public speaking, or those soft skills, and you are competing with someone that has done all these things. You know, fine, you know how to design, but at the same time, this is what I usually tell my students. You can know how to handle all tools in your software, be it Photoshop, CorelDRAW, Illustrator. You can know how to use all the tools there, and you don't know how to handle the control. you don't know how to do the color mixing, you are going to have an issue. It's not as if you are not good. You know how to use all those tools, but you need additional skill, soft skill, to complement this hard skill you have. And part of it are this color mixing, understand. You have to be learning
just to maintain contrast.
Yes, you have to be learning.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Oshotimehin. Another principle I would like to talk about is the repetition. I think you mentioned it when you mentioned the law of continuity. When you have a design, it is not even limited to a particular design. It also extends to your future designs. The kind of font or the kind of color, the kind of image you use in the previous design should also be applied in the subsequent designs to allow continuity or repetition. Do you know why this is actually very much important? It helps you to create a brand identity.
Yes.
People know you for who you are or for the kind of designs you have. Once they see your design, they know that is this particular person, is this particular company that is making this design. So it allows a brand identity, a form of brand identity, when you keep on using a particular design, a particular logo, a particular image, a particular element on your design. So that is also very much important. And lastly, I will talk about movement. Movement is also a basic principle of design. And how does it work? Mere seeing a design now, a good graphics design helps you to place your eyes on the most important element, followed by the next, followed by the next, and it goes like that. So it helps you identify the first important element, followed by the next, and gradually you are moving to the one with the least importance. So that creates a kind of movement and is also one of the basic principles.
Yes.
Thankfully, we have been able to discuss about the laws of design and also the basic principles of designs, and we hope these podcasts have added so much value into the lives of incoming, or let's say the upcoming graphics designer, the intermediate, or even the experts. There are some of the things, new things that would have said that you would be able to pick from. And really appreciate Mr. Oshotimehin, the Chief Marketing Officer of GTech Limited. He actually takes students, if you really want to learn graphics design, if you want to learn web design, if you want to learn anything about digital marketing, it takes students, and of course the students are doing very fine also. Thank you very much for staying up to this length. We know the video is actually lengthy, but of course it's a whole lot of value packed in it. And next section, and of course give us feedback. Let us know what you feel about this. Thank you very much. Peace.